Okay, so in these videos, we're going to look at the question, does God exist? And we're going to see how different people have answered that question throughout time. And the first person we're going to look at is Epicurus. Epicurus is a Greek philosopher, lived a long time ago. And basically what Epicurus is doing is he is saying, all right, here are a few premises that I am noting, and they don't fit with what you are calling this great God. And people today love this argument. Okay, and basically it goes like this. He goes, okay, let's look at a few things. Evil exists. All right, we know evil exists. You look around, you see evil. He says, okay, and also here are a couple ideas that you people who believe in God, and this would apply to Christians, even though there weren't Christians when he was writing, but you get the idea. This is why people love this argument. He says, but you Christians say that God is all loving, and you say that he is all powerful. Okay, so evil exists, God is all loving, God is all powerful, and essentially where Epicurus is going to end up, and this is where everybody ends up basically who uses this argument, they're saying, okay, if evil exists, a loving, and you're saying God is loving and God is all powerful, that basically this cannot all be true. Therefore, a loving, powerful God cannot exist if evil exists. Okay, maybe your God, maybe evil exists, but your God is just not powerful enough, or maybe your God is not loving enough. And so this argument as it stands is essentially a argument that people are going to use to disprove the existence of God, or at least all loving, all powerful God, right? And so that's basically what that argument is. And so as a side note, I just want to show where this argument, even though it feels right to a lot of people, it's fairly easily dismantled, I guess we could say, or it's fairly easily overcome simply by putting in a fourth premise, and that is God has a good reason for allowing evil. So in other words, evil exists, God is all loving, God is all powerful, but this loving, powerful God has a good reason for letting this evil exist. For example, think of a baby. He thinks that mom and dad are wonderful. He thinks mom and dad are all powerful and all loving, that they really can help him and that they really do love him. But then mom and dad take him to the doctor's office, and some nurse grabs this huge syringe and jams it into his leg, and it hurts, and there is evil, and it's suffering. And if you could look into this child's mind, he might use Epicurus's idea of saying, look, evil exists. There is this needle jammed in my leg. I thought mom and dad loved me, and I thought mom and dad were powerful, but maybe this nurse is more powerful than mom and dad, and there's nothing they can do about it. They just have to say, well, they're jamming the needle in the leg. Nothing we could do about it. Or maybe they don't really love me. Maybe they enjoy watching me suffer, right? But we do know that mom and dad are powerful. I mean, they could overpower the nurse and stop that from happening. They could not have brought the kid there in the first place to make this happen. And they are loving because essentially that momentary evil is going to prevent the child from having, die from some horrible disease sometime later, right? So this argument from Epicurus is really probably one that we're going to find more and more and more, but it is not, from a Christian perspective, it is not a killer argument, because it really, all you have to do is just introduce that fourth premise, and all of a sudden the argument has lost most of its power. Okay,